What's going on, guys? Duelim here, back here with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Cosmic Crucible Week 4 recap and my new defense for week number 5. So if you guys are ready for it, let's get into it. All right, kicking off the recap of week number 4. That's right, I did go 2-1 once again, so back into Masters 1, almost at 1900 Tribunal rating, but let's get into round number 1. I did lose round number 1, unfortunately, but for my attacks, I did MOE APOC against a pretty big extreme with Rogue. ISOs were a little interesting here. Didn't have Raider on Nightcrawler nor Forge, so I didn't have to worry about anything there. And I used APOC here to be safer because this team was pretty big. In retrospect, I probably could have just used MOE here, especially because Forge was not a Raider, so I knew I could control him. Same thing with Rogue. This ended up being my downfall here, unfortunately. Room 2, we did Hive Mind into Bifrost, and it was a little inefficient. I had some issues. This team was really big. You can see it's an 800k punch-up, but a one-shot's a one-shot, so I'll take it. Room number 3, we had New Warriors going into Black Order with Quicksilver. And honestly, if I had worse RNG, I would have lost this match. Right when New Warriors gets all their regens and everything like that, that's when Thanos snaps and flips all of it to bleeds, and then bad things start happening. So, and then Quicksilver, obviously, because Thanos is taking a bunch of turns, Quicksilver is getting a bunch of positive effects. If any of those are speed up, it becomes a problem because it does really, really bad things. He changes the turn order and starts just deleting people. If you have offense up, he's going to assist on all the turns, so it's really, really rough. It was a pretty interesting defense. I got lucky, though, and was able to one-shot it. Room number 4, this was another big mistake by me, honestly. So we got out of time with Nova taking out the Starnak. I used Tangled with Cabal. I should have used Cabal with Vulture and Doom here, and Vulture and Doom would have absolutely shredded this. Vulture would have ulted turn 1, got a crit, give my Cabal speed up, rewound everybody, and then pretty much from there, all my Cabal members would have gone. I also would have had Doom be able to go before most of them here, except for probably Nova. And then this would have been an absolute wipe. But unfortunately, I went with a Tangled option to take out the taunt from Black Knight and get a stun. I chose incorrectly. And then over here, this is where I should have used Tangled, Eternals, and BTS to take out this Infinity Watch. Infinity Watch seems to be my new Gamma. So I did leave it, and then I came back in with a Doom, Red Hulk, Vulture, Vol combo here. But yeah, Doom and Vulture should have been in 4 with Cabal here to delete this. And then in room 5 should have been Eternals, BTS, and then Tangled to have those charges up so that I don't have any issues with taking a lot of damage. You keep the health efficiency up, and it's a lot better. And then surprise, surprise, Superior 6 going against Dorm, MLF, and SD. Let's go to my defense here. So in room number 1, he used Superior 6 on my full extreme, which I find is an absolute win. If he uses Superior 6 here, I've got no issues whatsoever with that. Room number 2, he used Spider Society on offense to beat Pegasus in 83-64. Fascinating that, you know, Spider Society has just taken over the room 2 meta, and they beat pretty much everything. Awesome to see. Room number 3, hive-minded my Spider Society Quicksilver. This is before I had Penny, because I wasn't going to get Penny, but then I ended up coring her, so you'll see what I did defense-wise changing. But yeah, Hive Mind rolled this. I'm assuming just because it was a small Pavateer, so we had issues of them getting pushed really fast, and then Hive Mind just went. This is also a 3.1 million Hive Mind, so there's also that. I mean, I'm getting blinded by these diamonds here, so it is what it is. Room number 4, I use Sus, Emma, Undying Duo, and then Omega Red. And this took some turns. He used a Cabal Sus and only got an 83-63. That's a win in my books because Cabal and Sus should absolutely roll anything. And the fact that it gets an 83-63 is a big win for me. And I only had Sus in this room and 4 people I never use on offense. So I've got no issues with this. This room is doing pretty well for me. Room number 5, He also failed on Infinity Watch BK. He tried to use the Pegasus comp, which I've heard people have been using this, and it's been working, but not for this guy. Even on an 800k punch down, Black Knight still living, Adam Warlock and Gamora living. Then he came in with an MOE cleanup. Funny, using MOE as a cleanup. And then room number 6, New Warriors APOC, a pretty good way to take out the Dorm MLF and SD comp. But round one was a loss because I did lose that fight in room number 5, just as he did, but unfortunately he was more efficient. Once again, this should have been much more efficient here, and then this should have been much more efficient here as well. So unfortunately that was a loss against Pablo Jenkins. Next up, we went against Ricky. My room 1, I did New Warriors into SD with Big Time, and this is not the ideal matchup here. A Lizard here would make this so much easier, and I should have done a Lizard here. If Big Time targets the Gwen and Gwen gets Disrupt, that's a bad thing, because then Gwen won't have Taunt when she specials, and there's a whole plethora of issues that can follow from there. Room number 2, using that APOC Hive Mind against the Spider Society, doing absolute work. This was a kind of a tiny Spider Society, but the fact that APOC Hive Mind works on pretty big punch-ups as well is really nice. You just got to make sure APOC is next to whoever on Hive Mind is going to get the taunt for you. That is essential, and it's different for everybody. This placement here is not what I have. I have APOC next to Carnage because he's 2 diamond. For most of you, it will be Venom, but mine is Carnage because I have that 2 diamond. So make sure you know who's getting the taunt so you can put APOC next to the taunter. Also, it's not written in the kit, but Noir's ult cannot be counterattacked as well. So there's no need to have Venom in here. You actually want Gwenom instead, because people were wanting Venom in here to increase the amount of villains, to increase the retaliate chance, but you cannot retaliate and counterattack on Noir's ultimate. That has been reported to the devs as well. Room number 3, we used MOE into an Extreme Black Knight, and a little bit inefficient because Titania did end up dying, but the fact that I was able to take out an Extreme and a Black Knight without APOC, without Sus, without Cabal, anything like that, and get a 58, I counted this as a pretty big win for me. Room number 4, we used, honestly, the wrong comp. This should not have worked, but it did. So he's got Red Hulk, Dorm, Vulture, Doom, and Quicksilver. My thought was Vulture's going to go first because they have more heroes than I do. And then my dumbass decided to pull in Eternals, which is 2 heroes, so it's even. And then I threw in Vol to make it even dumber. But luckily, they ulted first. Vulture ulted first, then my Vulture ulted, and then my Eternals went because they were faster than everybody here. I think Quicksilver did go before my Eternals because he can't be rewound. And then I was able to get going, and then Doom ulted, and it was fine. But this was just stupid on my part. It should have just been like Vulture, Vol, Doom, and 2 other villains, and I would have had no issues. But you live and you learn. Luckily, I did not get punished for it. Room number 5, he had a Death Seed with Super Scroll. The first time I've ever seen Death Seed Super Scroll. I took no chances, though. I used Cabal and Tangled. Now, Magneto does ult turn 1 before all of my team. I still did use the ult from 2099, and then I used the ult from Weaver to get those charges up. Super Scroll special missed, and then Cabal just went to town, and Cabal just deleted everything here, and Namor just one-shot the rest of everybody because Namor at 3 diamonds is nuts. Then room number 6, he used Out of Time minus BK with APOC, and this is where the big mess up came from. So here, I should have used Mysterio over Lizard to be able to pull that immunity off spawn from APOC, and then this room would have just fell over so much faster. And then I could have used Lizard here over Dagger to make this room potentially not have any issues. Luckily, it didn't. But you can see here, this room was a little bit of an efficiency sink as well because of not using that Mysterio. APOC did end up ulting and hitting Lizard. He did live, but still, this should have been way cleaner, and it wasn't. But you live and you learn. Let's go to defense here. So room number 1, this man struggled. He tried MOE, and you can see his MOE is very, very Kang focused. Kang is literally like 40% of the team, 50% of the team, power-wise. So he failed MOE twice and failed MOE a 3rd time, and Gambit and Nightcrawler were still alive. Yeah, you got to have surrounding members to live to make sure Kang is not getting targeted. Room number 2, he tried Pegasus into my Spider Society. Did not work at all. And then he came in and Bifrost. Absolutely Bifrost. Beat it. Oh my lord. Now, it is a 600k punch down, and I have seen Bifrost not do well against this room on smaller punch downs or punch acrosses. So use this at your own risk. I would never use this with my Bifrost because they're only like 1.8 million. This is not worth trying, in my opinion. This is just a luxury that he was able to do it because I have low stars on Pav, Peter B, and Penny. But if you can do it, good for you. I wouldn't recommend it. Room number 3, I ended up copying my opponent's defense from round 1 and did the Quicksilver Black Order. So he tried to use New Warriors, failed because Thanos was able to do Thanos things, as well as Quicksilver before he was taken out. Then he came in with Darkhold Nova to clean it up. Room number 4, he used Cabal with Emma and MLF. Again, using Cabal here, getting a 63, I count that as a win. Either people are overestimating it using Cabal Sus and not getting the best efficiency still, or they're using Cabal and still not getting great efficiency. So it's good for me either way, honestly. This room is most likely staying. Room number 5, again, trying to Pegasus the Infinity Watch Black Knight, and they cannot kill my Black Knight. It is hilarious. It just is not working for them. They cannot ult with the Kestrel on the Black Knight and get him dead. It's very funny. Then came in with a Hive Mind cleanup. Then room number 6, Snooze Fest, Superior 6 into Dorm MLF SD. Now, coming in to round 3, we went against a friend of the channel, a friend of the stream, a friend of the community, Sham the NATO. Room number 1, I used New Warriors against his Dorm Unlimited. This was a pretty straightforward fight here. It doesn't show it here. No, actually, I did keep the same ISOs. I did keep correct ISOs. The room before, when Big Time was a skirmisher, I put all Raiders because Big Time was going to put ability block on everybody. So I put Raider on everybody to make sure that didn't happen. This room is super straightforward. A waste of Dorm, in my opinion. Room number 2, APOC Hive Mind, once again, going into Spider Society. This room works great. Room number 3, tried to use an MOE against an unlimited or an extreme with Bishop, and unfortunately I pulled a Boomer and I did not kill Forge first. I was stupid. And then I came back in, killed Forge first, went really easy, 68. This was just an absolute stupid play by me. Period, plain and simple. This was just stupid by me. Room 4, we got Cabal, Vulture, and Doom into a Black Knight with Thanos and friends. And I did not take chances with this room. Unfortunately, when Doom took the ride and did end up going, Black Knight just pinged him down. So that was a little unfortunate. But this was a pretty big efficiency sink. I actually kind of like this room and this defense in room 4. Unfortunately, I think it's a little bit of a waste of a Black Knight because there's better things that you could use your Black Knight for instead of just in room 4. But it was interesting. It worked pretty well. So hats off to him. Room number 5, the correct team. We got Tangled, we got Eternals, we got BTS going into a full Infinity Watch. Again, we get the charges up pretty quickly. BTS takes off the revives. Icarus ults, hopefully double tapping on the Nebula. Mine did not. That's why it wasn't the most efficient. Still a 61. But yeah, this is going to be your best bet going into an Infinity Watch, even on a 2.7 million Infinity Watch. And then room number 6, Snooze Fest once again. Superior 6, Emma, MLF, SD. Yeah, we knew this. So in room 1, he used MOE with Doom. Got an 83.55 when his Kang ulted. He has Raider on Kang, and unfortunately, that cost him because he didn't get the Striker attack on Forge to kill him. My Forge survived the Kang ult and then sucked some efficiency. Doom ended up ulting, taking 3 more turns. Then Kang had to take 3 more turns, so getting a 55 here was really great for me. Room number 2, APOC Hive Mind into my Spider Society. Snooze Fest once again. Room number 3, he fell for it. New Warriors going into a Black Order Quicksilver, and Quicksilver got an offense up and a speed up took like 2 to 3 turns in a row and just started deleting people. And then Thanos was able to ult as well because the focus shift to Quicksilver. And then he came in with this conglomerate. He used Quicksilver, Eternal, Shang-Chi, and Cap America and did pretty well, 79-65 on this. And then in room 4, again, Cabal, Super Skrull, and Vol. I count this as this is fine. He did get a 67, so he was more efficient this time. But if you're using Cabal and Super Skrull, you should be expecting an 83-67. And if you're not, you're losing. But I only have Super Skrull in here. Again, I'm losing nothing else on defense. So the fact that it's pulling Cabal and Super Skrull is a win in my books. Room number 5, he used BTS with just Weaver, Kestrel, Nova, and Zombie Juggernaut. Zombie Juggernaut, massive here, so maybe use this at your own risk. Also, my Infinity Watch is only 2 million. He was able to strip the taunt and everything off of BK with Big Time Spider-Man, stun him with Weaver, and then the match pretty much fell apart from there. But this does hinge on having a pretty Big Time Spider-Man as well, so user beware. And then room number 6, he used Superior 6 against my my SD with Dorm and MLF. So I did win this by 3 points because he dropped a fight on this. I should have one-shot everything though, but we did go 2-1. We are almost at the 1900 mark. So let's see what we got for my new defense for round number 5. Coming into room number 1, we've got Extreme with Rogue. And as you saw over the recap, Extreme with Rogue has been doing pretty good things for me, honestly. I'm keeping it. But the only thing I am changing, I'm making everybody a Raider. Because if they want to put the ability block on Rogue, if they try to use MOE and use the Titania ability block on Rogue, Rogue does end up taking a turn most times in that fight. And then Rogue is still going to be able to taunt, reduce turn meter, maybe hit that Kang, and then they're going to have issues. This room has been doing me wonders, especially since Forge is now at 7 stars as well, since he's farmable in the War Store. Nightcrawler might be 7 by the time the next round starts because we got those 50 shards from the calendar, which is really, really nice. But yeah, this room has been doing some really good things. I recommend this room. If not, maybe throw in a Dormammu here over Rogue. But the problem is then I don't really find use for Rogue anywhere else other than here. So that's why I'm running this in room number 1. Room number 2, surprise, surprise. That's right, it's Spider Society. We've got Penny far left as a striker, Ghost Spider, Raider, Pav, striker in the middle, Noir, Raider on the corner over here, blocking Peter B, who is a healer for this matchup. Noir going to go under stealth, so that's why I wanted him over here by Peter B. Peter B is a healer for this matchup because Peter B passively heals so damn much. And he can extend this fight out if your opponent tries to underestimate it and not use an Apocalypse and just delete this. So Peter B is really good as a healer here. It's just like when Forge was a healer last season, even though he's a better as a striker or anything else. He's a healer because he heals all the time on like everybody's turn. Every time somebody gets hit, he heals. Every time somebody drops low, he's going to heal them. So Peter B absolutely needs to be a healer here. I feel like this is the best placement here in my opinion. Peter B farthest away from Penny because those are the 2 most important targets. And then Noir going under stealth, hiding the Peter B in case there's primary and adjacent damage as well. But Spider Society, absolute nuisance on defense. If you don't feel comfortable putting them on defense, they are also awesome on offense. And they're also awesome in defense in room 5 too, if you really want to spice it up. And then you can put something else in room 2. But I like putting this in room 2. Forcing somebody to use a Super Skrull or an Apocalypse here and making it a little bit harder for them to do anything else. Coming into room number 3, we've got Black Order with Quicksilver. And the reason why I'm running this is people are underestimating this. This team looks so tiny. It's 1.6 million because Quicksilver is 580k of that. And Thanos is like 560k of that. The other 3 Chuckle Nuts, nothing. They're like 180k, 200k. And when these people die or go low, Thanos gets turn meter and goes quicker. Thanos taking a bunch of turns gives Quicksilver a bunch of different positive effects offense up, speed up, giving this matchup RNG. Now, I know Darkhold can roll this. I know there are things that can roll this. It is what it is, though. There's nothing better to put in here for me, because I'm not going to build X23. I'm not going to build Jubilee. I'm not going to throw a bunch of X-Men in here with Sunspot. But if you have them built, I recommend that. Put in Sunspot, put in a bunch of the reworked X-Men, and this will suck efficiency because X23 is really good. Colossus is really tanky, honestly. Jubilee, throw in a Phoenix, and then throw in a Sunspot, call it a day. But for my roster, this is what works best in room 3 for me, because I feel like anything else is honestly a throwaway. Now, coming into room number 4, we're keeping Super Scroll on defense. That's right. I'm keeping the Hela, keeping the Emma because of speed mechanics. I love Emma giving that 10% reduced speed. I also love the Greg dying and giving another 10% reduced speed. The Omega Red is an awesome turn 1 ult if he's able to get to it as well, which is another ticking time bomb. And then I took out Zim because I really didn't see him do anything from all my replays. And I put in Dormammu. So this means this is either going to extend the match out more and make people take more turns because everybody on this field can be revived. Yes, even Super Scroll. And Dormammu, if he's able to get to his ult turn 1, that's a problem because he's going to rebalance the fight, heal a bunch, and that's going to give me a lot of efficiency sync here. And then it's also going to increase the likelihood that Super Scroll gets to a second turn as well. I know Cabal still does really well here, but that's the point of this room, to pull Cabal. I threw the Dormammu in here to throw a little monkey wrench, so maybe somebody wants to throw a Cabal APOC in here, which I wouldn't be mad about in the least. But this is going to be my room 4. I've really been liking these 3 on the side here, the Hela, like I said, with the Greg, the Emma, and the Sus in here. Omega Red is another ticking time bomb. If you don't rewind him, you don't kill him. He can ult and devastate you. And then Dormammu in here to throw a little monkey wrench in with revives because I didn't like Dormammu in 6 anymore because that was a snooze fest. So let's see what we got for room number 5. Coming into room number 5, that's right. We're just running Infinity Watch now. No more Black Knight with Infinity Watch because there are really good counters to it now that people have found out that don't involve APOC, that don't even involve the Eternals. It's literally just Tangled, Big Time Spider-Man, Nova can do really well against it. So I'm going to stick with the vanilla Infinity Watch for right now. Your other option to put in room 5 is going to be Spider Society. If you put Spider Society here, I would say probably put Pegasus in 2. Spider Society is really good in this room as well because a lot of them ult pretty early, giving those blinds out. Noir obviously ults turn 1 and can put out 3 really big blinds. So that could be pretty interesting on your opponent if they underestimate that. But I'm going to stick with vanilla Infinity Watch. If I see Infinity Watch still getting rolled and I see Spider Society still getting rolled in 2, which I'm assuming it will, I might switch it up and put Spider Society here and then put Pegasus back in 2. But it kind of depends. I want to see how rooms work because I know most people are going to be using APOC on that Spider Society in 2, meaning they won't have Apocalypse here, meaning this is a little bit less efficient. So I'm curious to see how the kind of dynamic works, and I will switch it up as the week progresses. But for right now, we're going to stick with Infinity Watch in room 5, and you're going to see where I'm putting Black Knight. All right. Room number 6, Black Knight, Captain America, and SD. And my reasoning behind this is Superior 6 was rolling anything that was in here with Emma, MLF, Dorm, MLF, pretty much rolling anything. Putting the Black Knight in here means Superior 6 does nowhere near as well in this room, especially with a Black Knight that is this big. And then I have the SD members is just kind of supporting Cass. And now if somebody wants to try to pull an APOC New Warriors in here, go for it. There's an RNG chance because of the blocks that Black Knight will not have the taunt ripped off by Gwen turn 1. And then they're going to have big issues because they're going to be stuck on Black Knight. They're going to have to use the Firestar ult on Black Knight. It's not going to rewind Black Cat because she's got immunity and death proofs. So no issues whatsoever there. And then even if they use APOC here and are still able to clear it, then they won't have APOC for Spider Society in room 2. So I count that as a win. And they won't have APOC for Infinity Watch in room 5. So I'm really curious to see what people try to use here. I feel like this is going to take more efficiency when Superior 6 goes into here than it would when you had the Emma or the Dorm in here with SD. I really realized that like I said when we were talking about Room 5, the Black Knight Infinity Watch comp has been kind of figured out. So I wanted to throw Black Knight in here with another tanky character in Cap America to suck some efficiency and maybe pull a really big team. Maybe somebody's going to look at this and go, ooh, Superior 6, and Superior 6 won't do the best here. I predict, 55s to 58s here, which is way better than the 67s or 68s people have been getting with Superior 6 on the old teams we've put in here. So that is going to be my defense, gents. I hope you guys enjoyed. I gave you guys some alternate options as well, depending on your roster. I really do think the biggest change you can make is in Room 3 if you have some of those X-Men reworks put up with Sunspot. But I don't, so I'm going to use the Black Order Quicksilver, Spider Society in 2 or 5, and then obviously I'm really curious to see how that Black Knight Cap America does in Room 6. But until next time, this has been Duelum. Hope you guys enjoyed. Later, y'all.